Hey guys, so I'm going to narrate this video. The whole reason I did this layout here is because of those clips that were included in the February 2013 Studio Calico kit. With the clips had a mustache on them, and I wanted to use them up, so I printed this photo. There's no intro to this video talking about supplies because most of the supplies I thought were going to come from the Studio Calico March 2013 kit, and as I'm looking through the papers that are included in the kit, I'm realizing that not a whole lot of them work with my photo. And that background paper, I had a hard time matching it. I mean, you think craft goes with anything, right? But for whatever reason, I didn't like the colors that came in the kit with that craft paper. So I pulled out some of the Fancy Pants Swagger collection, and there's my photo. My husband, that photo was taken in May of 2007 after we had our second wedding. So my husband and I got married twice. We got married in Vegas. We eloped. Not really. Everybody knew we were going, but we went to Vegas and got married initially, and then a year later we got married in church. So we had the big family church wedding. So that photo is from our second honeymoon, and we are in Maine, and he's leaning on a railing and he's looking back at me, and it's one of my favorite pictures of him of all time. And I've actually scrapped it more than once, but I really wanted to do this layout to talk about his mustache because you guys are going to think I'm weird, but before I met my husband, I had this list of like 100 things that my husband had to have. Like the number one thing on the list was a job. No, I'm just kidding. The number one thing on the list, let me tell you how shallow I am. The number one thing on my list was that he had to be tall. I wanted to be able to wear heels and dance with him and not feel like, an overgrown ogre. So, that's how shallow I am. And it's funny because up until him, I only dated guys who were shorter than me. So that's weird. But anyway, you always get a story when you listen to my videos. I don't know. So, anyway, I went through the Studio Calico kit from March and didn't like any of the papers, like I said. So I pulled out my Simon Says stamp kit from November of 2012 that I had out because I was trying to use it up. And that kit included the basic gray Serenade collection. And I'm really just going through and trying to find. I really liked this Amy Tangerine craft and I really wanted to use it, but I couldn't find other papers that I thought went with it. So I pulled out the Simon Says stamp kit, and now it's the card kit from Simon Says Stamp, and now you're going to see me look at and all of these different options for papers and as they relate to this photo. And I really wanted to use that dictionary paper, but there were no words on the dictionary paper that had anything to do with this layout, and that bothers me, so I couldn't do it. I've used dictionary paper before, like I had a photo of my nephew and he was sitting at the computer, and I used the dictionary page that had genius on it because I thought, it went together, but these didn't go. So you'll see me, I'm working it out here, just trying to layer things down to see what I want to use as my main embellishment cluster. And it's funny because I did spend a lot of time fiddling around with these papers, but this layout did not take a long time at all. 48 minutes all told for this layout, and that's what all this fiddling around. But there's very limited embellishment going on here, and the background paper, because I typically use pattern paper for my background, it does a lot of the work for me. So I don't have to worry about, filling in spaces and stuff. So I decided to use this teal paper. I think it's a good contrast against it's not really teal. It's kind of like a soft green. I think it's a good contrast against that craft. And then I also bring this orange paper in, and I really feel like that orange and that. Now, I don't have a color wheel, and I don't know if this, is designed, you know, design true or whatever, but I really liked that orange against that kind of aqua color. It's like a soft seafoam green almost. So I'm going to cut the branding strip off of there before I forget and the layout pops up out of my page protector in the album, if it ever gets in the album. And now I have some layers that I like. All the background, there's some black cardstock there, and that's from just the card kit. It's just some plain basil cardstock. And then the other two papers back there are from that basic gray Serenade collection. And this is cardstock as well. That's just from the kit in this, like I said, it's like a seafoam green kind of color. And I'm using my American Craft Knockout punch and I'm using the postal stamp punch to put a border on the bottom of this paper. And I'm still not sure that I'm going to give up my Fisker punches for these American Craft knockouts. I just don't think they work as good as the Fisker ones. And I know they take up much less space. And the Fisker's ones take up so much space. So I thought, these American Crafts ones, I could, destash the Fisker ones and come up with something that, anyway. I'm just not convinced yet that they're working out for me. Anyway, so I got these three. I'd always planned to scrapbook about the fact that my husband has a mustache, and that wasn't anything that I ever thought I would be attracted to, or that my husband would have a mustache. It's not something I really thought about, but I typically don't like mustaches on men, but it looks good on Stu. So anyway. So I bought those buttons at the American Visionary Museum in Baltimore. Stu and I went last year sometime, and I bought those buttons to go on a layout about his mustache. So I pulled them out to use them, and the colors are kind of wonky a little with this layout, but I don't care. They're on the page. I think in the end it turns out okay. It's livable. So I'm just using some more of that aqua paper to bring that aqua color up to the top of the layout here. And I sped this video up, but it feels like it is going on forever, guys. Did I speed it up? Yeah, I did. I'm so confused. Anyway, I mean this process video is only 12 minutes long, so I thought about using that mustache paper there, but it didn't really work with what I was trying to do. And what you see me doing here is I'm pulling the backs off of the buttons, and I'm pulling the clips off, like the pins. I pull them off, and then I put my buttons down because they're not flat backed. I put them on some foam adhesive and then put them down on the paper so that they lay kind of flat and the adhesive sticks and things like that. But I took the pins off. I did a layout very early on in my scrapbooking career where I put them down with glue dots and left the pins on there. I don't know. It doesn't look bad, but they're kind of wobbly. They're much more sturdy taking those pins off when you're using real buttons. So like I said, here you'll see me, I'm putting the 2 foam squares down to get that to lay correctly. And then there's this little tag from the Swagger collection that has mustaches on it. And I don't anticipate scrapbooking about mustaches a lot, so it was really like, oh, let me use as many mustache motif things here as I can. There was a little sticker there that I put in the lower left-hand corner. It says, "Love this guy." And then I'm fiddling around with where I'm going to put that mustache sticker because I definitely want to use it up because I don't know. I don't get the mustache trend, I guess. And so when I was thinking about making a layout about Stu's mustache, that was the only time I could really think that I would use mustache motif kind of embellishments. So I pulled some labels out to ground that area right there where that third button is going to go. And that's a Martha Stewart label. It's a label that came from the Studio Calico February kit. It was my last one. All used. Yay. And then that mustache paper. And I'm just fiddling with where I want that button. And the buttons give me the all-important triangle. So, as far as design rules, I've got that going on. I got 3 buttons in a triangle. How about that? So I'm using some enamel dots where I thought I was going to. I eventually do. I guess I'm changing colors. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I didn't like the color of those enamel dots that I had pulled out originally. So I pulled out some other ones. These match better with that sort of sea foam green, turquoise, teal kind of color. And so now I'm looking at all the different stickers. These are authentic stickers. Let me see if I can find out for you what they are. They're called Curiosity Element stickers, and there's a tab. So I'm spelling out here a guy end. So that button says a mustache. So those stickers will spell out a guy end, and then the button says a mustache. So, but that's not the title. The title of this layout's going to be Who Knew, but there's a little tab with some mustaches on it up in that upper left-hand corner, and that's from the Swagger collection. I'm putting Stu's name up there in those authentique stickers. So now I have a guy and a mustache, and now I'm doing some journaling about the fact that, I never thought I'd date a guy with a mustache. I never thought I'd marry a guy with a mustache. I just don't, like I said, find them super attractive. But I don't know. I think my husband's hot, so what can I tell you? Anyway, like I always tell him though, it's your personality, honey. Seriously. No. um, so now I'm thinking about what I'm going to title it and where I'm going to put the title. And I was looking at those Swagger, the fonts that came with the Swagger collection, and they didn't work for me. So I pulled out this, these are Amy Tangerine Thickers. This is Goodness in Wood. And they came with the add-on for the Studio Calico March 2013 kit. And so I'm spelling out Who Knew here, and fiddling with where those are all going to go so they all fit with the question mark. And then after I put this WHO up there for who, I will use the asterisks that came with the kit. Asterisks. I gotta look up this pronunciation of that word, just to pull that wood grain into other parts of the layout, because it was only in the title and it looked a little just kind of floating there. So couple of those asterisks or whatever they're called. You guys know what they are. They look like little stars. So a couple of those, a couple more enamel dots. I'm going to add a little bit of washi tape because I feel like that corner was it didn't flow very well. It was very boxy. So I wanted to add a little bit of washi tape. So I'm going to add washi tape in 3 places on the layout. Here's another triangle. Go me. Anyway, and I actually ripped the paper when I pulled that last enamel dot off, so I had to use some adhesive to put it down, so I just put it down with a glue dot. And there's the look at the final layout. I'm sorry for the glare on the picture. I should have fixed that. But anyway, there it is. So that is our process video for Friday, March the 29th. I hope you guys have a great Easter weekend. I know I will. My brother is coming up from Kentucky. We're going to hang out with his 2 kids, do some Easter stuff, and this will probably be the last time I see him before he deploys to Afghanistan. So that kind of sucks. But anyway, enjoy your weekend, and I will be back on Monday. I will hope to be back on Monday with a Project Life update. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.